about love, Mama?
Love, it's nice. Responde tú.
No, responde tú.
Yo no sé cómo responder. El amor tiene que ser libertad, porque si para estar con alguien que te va a prohibir cosas, que te va no sé, te va a cortar las alas, para eso mejor no estar con alguien. Love, it's kochання. Kochання це... One moment, please.
I'd not say, although, like, like sharing things. I don't know how to say it in, Tree though, because it's been a while.
Love to me is composed of one soul and two different people.
It's something special. You have to feel a real good love for a person, for a thing, for a family, and it's important.
Like, sharing, caring for each other, make sure whoever is your friend or like a partner, feel comfortable with you.
Love? Well, love means to me caring, sharing, unconditional. I mean, a lifetime. Once I love for a lifetime. I don't love and then I don't love you no more. That's not love. I think that's infatuation. So love is a lifetime thing for me. Like I love my family, I love my children, I love my wife, So that's it.
If you love mom, it's another love. If you love your boyfriend or husband, it's another love.
Really, for me, it's like an indescribable feeling. Like I can't really describe it, but
it's like a real strong sensation. You may feel like you look like a strong emotion towards something or something.
Love for mom, it's I don't know how to say, but mom, it's like all for me. Mom, it's first person in my life. Mom, it's all for me.
Parents' love, as I say, unconditional, no matter what. Teaching, sharing, the basics.
To Be Loved by a Woman by Mendelsohn.
Girlhood was served on a silver platter. It lured me in with its delicious lip glosses and brushes.
I rushed to get a seat at the table that was a little too tall. My stomach wasn't big enough for the meal that was going to be served.
The place was set with ribbons and bows, and when I started to feast, it wasn't as I expected. My eyes turned green, and my appetite started to focus on her legs and lips.
I tried to mimic her. Mirrors surrounded the table, forcing us to fluff our hair and straighten our backs.
Not a second could I go without being bombarded with waiters asking if I wanted less.
I looked around at the women sitting at the table. But instead of unrealistic ideals, I saw girls.
Dancing barefoot in backyards, in tutus and plastic crowns.
Giggling to fairies and flying with our arms wide open.
Girlhood was served in metal teacups filled with water.
Knotted into our braids done by our mothers.
Playing along in our imaginary games with our sisters.
Swirling around in the breath of stories told by our grandmothers.
As we grow up, it is still there.
not bejeweled in stores and not filtered in ads.
It is there being belted out in karaoke nights with friends,
watching as we hold each other through tears,
connecting us through experiences that tie us so deeply.
We are all still knotted together,
our hair in braids with one another,
over and up and through unreachable standards, ever-changing trends we are expected to fit into. But she is beautiful, and she is also beautiful.
To be loved and to love as a woman is girlhood. The patience in our fingertips, the passion in our blood, the emotion in our souls is art.
Is art.
Philly shows love by putting community centers, rec centers, and parks in areas, specifically my area. I live in West Philadelphia, and a couple years ago, a center called Lucian E. Blackwell was built, and over the years, I would go there, hang out with my friends. Boys would play basketball, girls would play games. We would all just be in the community, and I feel like that's a way that Philly shows love. We have a lot of rec centers for people to come together and hang out.
You know, when you need like support, you know, from the state or the city, it's easy to get and all that.
I guess by sharing and by caring and uniting together.
I mean, by looking out. I mean, most people I just found they just, anytime see a homeless person on the street, give them a couple dollars, or whether it be helping a mom carry the stroller up the steps, just looking out.
Yo, what's good? Wait, shoes off, right? Yeah. How'd your day go with Amanda? I know you're pretty excited.
I don't know, I think it went pretty well. I should text her though, make sure she got home safe. Girls love that stuff.
Still haven't texted her, bro? Gotta do that.
You're right.
Everything alright, man? What'd she say?
She said she isn't sure if we're a good match, and that she wishes me good luck in the future. I really don't understand why I put myself out there so much, man. It's so disappointing.
Bring it in, bro. You'll be good.
Oh, it's a city of brotherly love, right? It's a city of love, and everything is not far apart. I can get to everywhere, public transport, I can drive, whatever I choose.
This is where I grew up. Like, this is home, so.
I really love the city, man. It feels nice out here. It's like where I grew up. It's like Corey said.
It's beautiful. It's very historic. Yeah.
So my name is Gabby Rodriguez. I use they them pronouns, and I consider myself a Latinx multimedia creator. I am Puerto Rican. And not only Puerto Rican, but I'm non-binary. So the word Latinx kind of identifies those two things. If they're like Latino or Latina, it's a whole like controversy within the Latino community when it comes to that. Recently, I did like a Puerto Rican piece, where the flag was kind of abstracted into the background. I added a lot of Taino symbols, which Tainos are the indigenous people of Puerto Rico. And then I added like some beautiful colors and stuff onto it and made it kind of like meaningful to me, because there's not a lot of, or I don't see a lot of like Latinx abstract work within Philly or like my own community. So I wanted to be the one to like kind of infuse my culture into that and make it beautiful. The thing is taking or doing creative photo shoots with my artwork to showcase the artwork in its own way, but to also kind of give it its own elegance and also its own attention that it deserves. I like planned out these photo shoots. I like planned out like the color scheme, kind of what I want them to mean, the feeling of I want you to get when you see the piece, or what I get especially when I see the piece and when I'm with the piece. And I just went forward and did the photo shoot and then posted about it because I wanted everyone to experience what I experience when it comes to my own art pieces. I feel like there's so much like love and comfort with each other, especially for those who are still figuring themselves out in the community. And I still have a lot that I'm figuring out. I feel like Philly shows its love through the cultures it represents, through kind of the events that it holds, or even like the community that it brings. Especially like the community that supports each other. Like if there's something going on, especially somewhere around the world or somewhere within a certain pocket of a community, Philly comes and represents. And a lot of people in Philly come and protest or come together and help each other. And I feel like the community is what holds all of us together, and also what really shows like who we are within Philadelphia. Awesome.
Today, we will be joined by Gabby Rodriguez, a Philadelphia-based Latinx creator whose work has appeared in local fashion shows, galleries, and recognized at the 2022 Mid-Atlantic High School Production Awards. Their journey began at Philadelphia High School for Creative and Performing Arts, and now they are enrolled at Drexel University as a Liberty Scholar. Their devotion to art transcends beyond the physical form through multimedia creations which center around their queer and Latinx identity. For our viewers at home, please welcome Gabby Rodriguez.
Yay!
Welcome to the show, Gabby. So tell me, where did this start? Where did your love for your identity through your art start?
Yeah, so when I was younger, I always, fell in love with art making or just doing art, especially when it came to like my family. I consider my family a very like creative and artistic family, especially my mom. She was a makeup artist. So I already had that love for art, but when it came to my identity, it wasn't until my high school years where I felt like something was missing kind of with my art, or kind of like the connection with like my Puerto Ricanness or my Boricuaness. And the more that I wanted to connect back to my roots, and the more I wanted to connect back to my family, the culture and everything like that, especially after meeting my partner who's Mexican and seeing how much his family like embodies their culture, but my family kind of lacked a little bit in that. I started to kind of put my culture within my art and wanted to connect through this art making that always held like a special place in my heart for so long, and kind of like expand and grow and connect in that way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And I see that a lot of your art is very representative of Puerto Ricanness, but also it's very representative of the queer community. Talk about the queer community here in Philadelphia, especially the Latinx queer community. What's it like being a part of that community? What's it like showing art through that community?
Yeah, so when it comes to like the queer community in Philadelphia, I feel like it's so vibrant, it's so big. All of my friends are queer. Mostly all of my friends are queer. I have a couple of friends who are not. But we all like love and support each other, and it's easy to find people who are just like you, who relate to you in that way. When it comes to like the Latinx queer community, I haven't found a lot of people yet within that community, and I don't know if it's just because the culture, I know growing up my culture was very religious, and I know like a lot of people are very religious, so I don't know if it's just a fear of coming out or something like that, or just there's not a lot of representation. But the friends that I do have that are Latinx and queer, like I keep them close, because for me it's such a small community within my own life. It may be bigger in other people's life, but within my own it's such a small community, and it's important for me because they share my same identities as me. So.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And talk about the piece you brought today. You told me it was a part of the Taino symbols, the moon goddess. So talk about this piece right here.
Yeah, so I'll bring it up. So this piece was a piece I made in high school. It was actually displayed in our annual art feast. And when I made it, it was supposed to be an abstraction piece, and we were supposed to abstract symbols that meant a lot to us, or that had some sort of meaning. And the symbol that I picked was the moon goddess. It's a Taino symbol. It represents womanhood, fertility, also growth in a way. And it was just very important to me, and I wanted to not only make a whole piece about it, but I wanted to kind of like commemorate her, because I love her and I look up to her in a way. And I did that with my stone sculpture, which took forever to do.
Yeah, and talk about, I guess, people who are afraid to put themselves publicly into their art. It could be kind of, feeling a little bit insecure. Like, talk about, I guess, have you ever felt those feelings of putting so much of your identity into something so public?
Yeah. I think there was a lot of times where I did felt like myself like anxious about displaying my art or having it showcased amongst my other peers, or even like submitting to art galleries, feeling like I might not get in or anything like that. And that came from a lot of, I think, comparing myself to others, comparing like, I always like had a thing with like comparing my art or comparing myself. But especially within the art community, there's like this sense of like comparing your art to others, thinking that your art might not be as good as others. So when it came to displaying my own art, I kind of had to get over that. And I had to realize that my art is special in its own way. Like, other people see it as special, why can't I see it like that way? Why can't I see it as the way it is, like beautiful, kind of like my own life into my art? And so I got over that, and then I started like displaying my art a lot more. I started like submitting a lot more and not caring if people didn't like it, and only caring if like I liked it and I genuinely like connected with it. And when it comes to like, if others want to display their art, I say like go for it, because you're the only one that's holding yourself back. And I was the only one holding myself back for like years when it came to like my art, or even like just other activities within my life, or even just being like more outgoing and confident. I was the only one holding myself back. So if you're holding yourself back for something that's really like your passion, like you should let yourself go, and you should let yourself do what you want to do, especially if it means a lot to you.
Absolutely. It's such a great message. And talk about, you're born in Philadelphia, you were raised here, it has an insane public art scene. How has that influenced you?
Oh, I feel like I see art everywhere when I'm walking in Philadelphia. You have like all these beautiful murals. You have so many, like, not even just art. You have people who are just expressing themselves through dance, through music. I went to a creative and performing arts school. That was all I was surrounded by. I got to know all the art places, especially in Philadelphia, especially on Broad Street, South Broad Street, all the art colleges, all like the exhibits, the musicals that we have down here, the Kimmel Center. I've spent much time in the Kimmel Center. And I feel like that just inspired me to not only be like more forward with what I have to give, or like what I have to represent, but to like let loose a little bit, because there's so many people that are letting loose in Philadelphia and kind of just giving them like their true selves and giving their all. And that inspired me to also just give my all.
And circling back to this idea of the queer community in Philadelphia, you mentioned to me before that this community especially shows just an incredible amount of care and affection for each other, kind of like the themes we're talking about today with publicly displaying affection. Talk about that through the lens that you bring.
Yeah. So, like, the community in itself, it's always shown me kind of like a home, if that makes sense. I didn't grow up with that same like feeling of home. So when it came to kind of finding what I call like my chosen family, who accepted a lot of the things that I knew I was for like a long time, and just like brought me in and also taught me a lot of things that even my own family wouldn't teach me or my own family wouldn't accept. That gave me a sense of like love and community. And when it comes to like my own art, or like the way I choose to represent myself, or the way I choose to kind of go on in life, I also want to bring that same love and community to others, even if you're queer or not, or maybe like especially others who are trying to find out their own identities or have been in similar situations as me. I really want to kind of show what that community showed me, what my community showed me. I want to give that community to someone else. So even with like my art, I try to bring like a level of like creativity, like brightness, like love, like passion. Even with just me, myself as a person, I try to just like connect with people as much as I can. Or even if I just can't connect with someone, just show them a level of kindness that like others have shown me.
Yeah, absolutely. And you call yourself a multimedia creator. So that encapsulates print and regular art, but also, or classic art, and then also video. So talk about, I guess, the art you do across multiple platforms and how different it is, I guess.
Yeah, so besides like my regular like 2D or 3D art, like you said, I do video. I have been doing like documentary. I do a lot of like documentary work, and I think that connects just to my level of like connecting with people. But I sort of focused on like documentaries or work or journalism that emphasizes like the person and the business that they are bringing. So a lot of my pieces center around like who this person is, like what are they doing for the community. One of the recent pieces I did was about one of my friends. Her name was like Morally, and she was a violinist at my school, and how she wants to bring like a new light to the classical music scene because of the lack of representation within it. And that was such a beautiful story that I wanted to encapsulate. And I feel like when it comes to like my videography, or when it comes to like my journalism, I always like kind of try to connect all the things that I've learned through art, all like the colors, maybe like the B-roll that I use, like try to really bring you into the film, even if it's just a person talking about themselves, or even just through like the music, so you can like really experience and feel what these people are talking about when I'm filming them and when you see them on screen, which is the same thing that I try to do with my art, but yeah.
Absolutely. And talk about, I guess, another facet of your art, your fashion and creating clothes out of unconventional items. Tell us what your recent fashion show was made out of.
So my recent show that I was a part of with an organization called Prevention Meets Fashion was a condom fashion show.
Condom fashion show.
Yes, condom fashion show. People are always like, condoms? I was like, yeah, I actually use condoms. It was so this organization, Prevention Meets Fashion, they do a lot of prevention when it comes to sexual education, sexual health, all those types of things. And each year, to kind of not only give an event that you learn some of these things in the first half, but to give like a creative spin on it, they do a condom fashion show. So we're giving condoms that were tested, they can't be used, they're colorful and everything like that. And we make these fashionable items with this. This was my first time ever using condoms in clothing. I don't think that's a regular occurrence. So it was my first time ever. Also a new I think like new type of art form for me, and also a new like skill that I was able to work on. I don't work on fashion. I don't sew often. Most of my work is like acrylic based or oil based or sculpture based, or video. So this was like a new experience for me, and it came out beautiful. It was like 30+ hours of work and over 200 condoms.
Wow. And how did that go? What did you feel afterwards?
Oh, I felt so happy. First of all, I was just relieved that I was done because my mental health was not doing good working like 30+ hours on that outfit and stressing about it. But it was like, I felt relieved that it was done, but I also felt like so much joy that my art was going to be like displayed, or the thing that I created was going to be displayed in kind of like this event. It was just like a joyous occasion.
Awesome. And so you seem to have done so much in all different sectors. What are your next steps?
College.
College.
There's a lot that I want to do, and I'm going to Drexel of September 2024. Yes, Drexel starts later than other colleges. Don't know why. But I want to use like next steps is that I want to use this gap year that I took, or the deferral that I took, and like make the most out of it. The most out of just expressing myself, showcasing the work that I do, helping others. And I think that's just what I'm going to continue doing. And once I start college, figure out some type of way to do that, but just continue like showing love and giving like others like a space to kind of like show their love too.
Awesome. Well, Gabby, thank you so much for coming to the show. Well, from all of us here at PhillyCAM, thank you for watching. You can catch more episodes of From Every Angle every Friday at 11:30 a.m. here or on cable or on phillycam.org/watch.